are gonna get better now, but you're still a drunken slob. Things are gonna get better now.
Oh, you know they just did. On a Thursday. It got a whole lot better. Because it's time for Headbangers and Hooligans, and as always, thank you for listening. Yours truly, Scumalicious. We are talking Rancid again. As you know, band of the month for November. And I'm glad that I set aside a month for them, because I mentioned this yesterday. And by the way, that was a rough podcast yesterday. I struggled with that one. For one thing, to go in depth with both of those albums, I wasn't expecting that, so that kind of threw me off my game. But wow, I just couldn't talk yesterday. But as you can tell, I'm back on my game today, and going back to Rancid and picking them as band of the month, it does feel good to talk about them, because ever since I started this, I really haven't given them the attention that they deserve. They've been with me a long time, just like Gore and Guttermouth and all the other bands I talk about, so it makes me feel better. So part one, because they get a double disc here. When you're talking Rancid and their discography, yeah, it's a double CD. So part one, greatest hits, Scumalicious Style. Let's do this. So when we go back to the debut, very, very underrated album, by the way. Rancid was a three-piece. It was just Tim Armstrong, Matt Freeman, and Brett Reed on drums. But even with that debut album, Tim's voice, it was there. Front and center. Nothing like it. And like I said quite a bit yesterday, some people love it, some hate it. I fucking love it. Me and the Buckster, we are Tim Armstrong fans. Detroit, that song, it's got that cool bass intro that Matt Freeman does in a lot of their songs, and then of course Tim Armstrong, in typical Tim Armstrong fashion. I didn't know what time it was. Sun went down, Detroit, Michigan, on the bus downtown. Last night I was fighting on the street, but tonight I have a girl next to me in this cold world. She brings me heat. And got a cool chorus, but that Matt Freeman bass line really carries the song. And then, of course, in the second verse, he talks about being in jail with a drunken priest and a hooker. And then he also mentions his $500 bill. So, kind of a nice little image that you get when you're listening to the song. I picked one more song off that for the greatest hits. Listen, when you're talking about greatest hits, it's not easy, because you're going to leave a lot of good songs off. And unfortunately, the debut album, it only gets 2 on there. But the song should be elite. It should be a special song to be included on their greatest hits. Rancid sets the bar pretty high. That's the way I see it. Hyena. And they had a video for this. I really, really like this song. I remember the cassette. The job at the time, I listened to the song every day for 3 weeks. I'd play it before work. It was the song that got me going. I'm money broke, it's no joke. Can't cope, use the rope this time. Knuckle up, buckle up, the ride's getting rough. Hyena fighting for the lion's share, but sometimes the lion's share ain't there. Hyena, right for the lion's share, but sometimes the lion's share ain't there. That was my best impression that I could do. Yeah, it fucking sucked, I know. Great song though, and you should try it. Listen to Hyena before you go to work. It'll get you going. Alright, so let's go. The next album. 4 of Let's Go make it to the Greatest Hits Part 1. So right there tells you that is an amazing album. It's in my top 50 of all time. 23 songs total, and it only took 4 of them. That tells you how awesome these songs are. Radio. That's the song that Billy Joe Armstrong helped to write. Think about that. Remember when Billy Joe used to write songs that we gave a shit about? We like songs where, like this one where he's Tim-Armstrong singing about drinking. We like that. Drinking, masturbation, drugs, sex, that kind of stuff. George Bush, politics, ain't. Fuck that. Alright. One summer night I'm drinking with my dad. He tried to give me love that I never had. And then we get to the bridge. Here I am. Here it is. Turn it up. Fucking loud. Radio, 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 radio. When I got the music, why I got a place to go. I love that song. You're going to hear me say that a lot. Sorry. It's the only reaction I can come up with. But especially in the early days, when you listen to that, you can't deny it, man. Billy Joe Armstrong can write songs. Even if you hate Green Day, you know the dude can write songs. Just get away from that political shit. We're tired of it. At least I am. Alright. You know Salvation's going to be on there. Come on, baby, won't you show me what you got now? I want your salvation, whoa. I can't believe these people live like kings. Hidden estates and diamond rings. I'm a rat. Wow, I fucked that up. I'm a rat out on a mission. I'm in your front yard under suspicion. Catchy tune. I like the video too. I like when it shows like the old 50s videos of the people dancing, and then it has the clips of Rancid in the car driving around the rough streets of Oakland there. Cool video. Name. Very underrated Rancid song. I feel good that I was able to put Name into part 1. Because I don't hear people mention a lot. At least the hardcore Rancid fans like me. Awesome song. You Don't Know My Name? Man, you don't know my name. A million days and nights, and all the pain and struggle. All for what I ask, all the pain and trouble. Man, listen to that song. For me, I totally relate to that song. Especially for people that, you know, you're just trying to get through the days, and you have a bad day at work, and you don't want to go the next day, but you have to, and it fucking sucks, and you feel like shit. Somehow you fight through it. That's why me, and I'm going to speak for the Buckster on this, that's one reason why we like this band so much. We relate to these songs. That's why so many punk bands are popular with the working class. Because we relate to this shit. Especially Brian, who's the backbone of our country. I'm not trying to get all serious here, but it's a great fucking song. Name, check it out. And 7 years down, the last track, it made it. what a way to end that album. Let's Go. And like I said, there are so many good songs in that album. There's at least 8 or 9 other songs I could put on here. But remember, it's elite. You can't just pick any song to put on Greatest Hits. So 7 years down, who's the opposition? I'm 7 years down, the human spirit prevails. Yeah, I'm down, down, down. They call me a faggot and they shove me out, but I don't give a fuck. I never did. We know you don't. I don't either. That's that attitude I love. I remember too, and some people took this the wrong way, when Salvation, that video, got kind of popular on MTV, and he mentioned Tim Armstrong's, and he was kind of joking, but he was half serious too. He's like, don't forget about Green Day. We're the real punk band, you know. And then of course the videos, he's got the giant mohawk and shit. He said that because he wanted to give his band attention, but I agreed with him. But him and Billy Joe are friends, so I've seen a couple stories online where people were kind of blowing that out of proportion. So then we go from Let's Go to Out Come the Wolves. This is the Buxter's album. He's probably going to be upset because I left his song off of here. I had to because another song took its place, and I'll explain that. Of course, Time Bomb's going to be on it. Black coat, white shoes, red hat, Cadillac, yeah. The boy's a time bomb. I remember when that came out, and they didn't have any songs like that on Let's Go, or the debut. So it threw me off when I first heard it. And then, as I kept listening to it, I was like, wow, this is a really good song. And then after a while, this is all that me and Brian listened to for a month was this album. And I mentioned that yesterday. That's why it's a special album to me. Olympia. That's the other song. And I love the rhythm guitar. And I love Tim Armstrong's vocals. I was hanging out with Lars down on 6th Street. I knew that I was in trouble. I was feeling much like the devil, something burning deep inside of me. And then the chorus part, hanging out on the corner of 52nd and Broadway. Cars passing by, but none of them seemed to go my way. New York City, I wish I was on the highway. Back to Olympia. You know, only Tim Armstrong would sound perfect in that spot. Great song. What an album. The debut, Let's Go, Out Come the Wolves. I remember thinking, wow, how is Rancid going to follow these albums up? And I talked about that yesterday with Life Won't Wait. Alright. Which, what's the word I want to use for Life Won't Wait? I don't want to say controversial record, just a record that you either loved or you hated. There you go. Next song, listed MIA. It's the one that Lars sings on. He's perfect for this song. And I love the lead guitar on it. And just like I said yesterday, when Rancid, when they play a solo, it's short, quick, and effective, but it just sounds cool. It's simple, but they make it sound so fucking cool in every song. You can't beat that. It's easy to play and it sounds good. I'll take that every time. God damn it, man. I almost had it. Stuck in the sewer beneath all the maggots. And then in the second verse, Lars sings, God damn it, man. I almost had it. Threw me out the door. They're calling me a faggot. And of course, I'm checking out. I'm never coming back again. I'm checking out. Enlisted. MIA. Da-na-na-na. And then comes that neat little solo that I was talking about. like I always say, you don't have to be a master shredder to sound good on a guitar solo. And Lars is really good at that. So the last song that makes it on the Greatest Hits disc from this album is Journey to the End of the East Bay. Daily City Train. That's the Buckster's favorite song. It didn't make it. See, Journey to the End of the East Bay is my favorite song on the entire album, so it has to be on here for me. And I love that. The verses. I know it's a simple palm mute riff, but it sounds so good. And of course, Tim Armstrong, as usual, delivers. And of course, Tim sings, "Man, he came from far away, from New Orleans, and into East Bay. He heard this place is a Mecca. He said, this place ain't no Mecca, man. This place is fucked." And then, of course, the chorus, "Journey to the end, journey to the end." Lars kind of helps him on the chorus, and it's just super catchy. It's a great song. And 2 songs left for part 1. And both of those songs obviously come off Life Won't Wait, the last album of the 90s. And I went into detail yesterday about that album. And just to kind of continue what I said about it yesterday, I think it's a really good album, and I like it, but it took a while for it to grow on me. And even listening to it again over the last couple of days, there's about 6 to 7 songs on there I don't listen to. I don't care for them. But there's other songs that I really like. The Wolf, when they use the blues riff stuff in there. It's something unique, but they do that well. It's just a very unique record. It's definitely the most unique in their entire catalog to me. So, but the 2 songs that made it for part 1, the first one, of course, Blood Clot's going to be on there. And I'll just tell like I did yesterday. Well, I'm a bad motherfucker, and Lars sounds really cool on the song, by the way. And then the backup vocals driving me insane. And then Lars, so don't you even bother. Who am I to blame? Because when I listen to the record, do you feel the same? It don't get any better, going backwards again. And they do really good on the backup vocals. And it's just a great song. Even if you hate the album, which I hope you don't, but if you do hate the album, I guarantee you would still love that song. It's just that good of a song, Blood Clot. And then, of course, the other song that I talked about yesterday that I really liked, Cash, Culture, and Violence. It's, and I mentioned this yesterday, they have that echo filter on the vocals that gives it an extra heaviness, and of course Matt Freeman's doing his crazy bass work that he always does, and these lyrics, it's high into a corner where no one leads. It's so fucking high that your nose bleeds. And of course Dickie Barrett from the Mighty Mighty Boss Tones, he sings on it too. It sounds good on it. They got that gruff voice, but there you go. Rancid, Greatest Hits, Part 1, Scumalicious Style. And so, now I'm going to work on Part 2. And remember, Top 50 albums of all time. It continues tomorrow. Oh, better bet your ass I'm excited to talk about it. Alright, take it easy. And if it's easy, take it twice. I'm out.